Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VI. Last time, we suffered through the RNG hell that is the Colosseum. This time, got a little bit of new gear, and I have a little bit more information, though the Deep Eye wasn't in the list of enemies that was supposed to appear in this area. Well, that was a thing. Okay, well, we've got a couple of new enemies here. I didn't write down anything on the Deep Eye because, like I said, it didn't appear anywhere. But the moves nullify Poison, Wind, Water, Earth, Pearl, and they have Auto Shell. You can MP kill them if you want, but there's not really a whole lot to them. You can still hit them with Fire, which is what we're all set up to do anyway. So that's the thing. They're level 28 if you care. But yeah, I have reset up my characters in anticipation of the upcoming dungeon. And we're going to head over there right now. There's the town. And here's another new enemy. This is Bogey. Bogey has autosave, so physically attacking them, not our best way of going about things. Not weak to anything in particular. Really? Well, that sucked. That's one of the few times where the last one decided to not go through. Anyway, Flash will take care of them. They are level 29. Yeah, they have autosave. That's pretty much the only thing you need to worry about with this fight. The Deep Eyes were weak to fire. They're level 28. I looked it up in between running into this episode, or running into this battle, and, well, editing magic. And there is one more enemy, though I don't think we'll meet up with it. Nope. This person. She was your friend. Yeah, they're not super clear in the Super Nintendo, but this is your friend's grave. She was a piece of work. Nothing scared her. World would have turned inside out and she never would have flinched. There's a little more explanation in the Game Boy Advance there. Could be anything lurking down here, so keep your eyes peeled. That sounds like a great idea. When we enter into Daryll's tomb, I'm going to go right back out for a sec. Look at how they spelled Daryll. With an I and two L's. Though, when we actually get around to talking about the character, when we had done so before, well, they spelled it differently. And Osteosaur, the first enemy around here, you want to make sure to encounter this enemy while you're here. It's only encounterable in the first room for some reason. It falls down quickly. Just like pretty much all the other enemies in here, the Osteosaur is level 30, undead. So even though it's susceptible to instant death, doing so will not help you in any way, as it will auto-revive just like I showed before. Weak to Fire and Pearl, absorbs poison, can use the zombie status. Considering that enemies around here can use the zombie status as well as inflict instant death, we are set up with either ribbons or amulets to protect against that. Celeste is a Flame Saber, Pearl Lance, Fire Knuckle. Setzer has the Trump, which isn't going to help us against very many enemies because all but one of them are undead, but the one that's not undead is susceptible to instant death. We're equipping those flame shields that we got last time, and if you're wondering what we did last time, you didn't want to bother to watch that long episode, we picked up, we ended up with 4 pairs of Marvel shoes, 4 flame shields, a Genji helmet, a dragon horn, a thunder shield, 2 experience eggs, and 2 pearl lances. And I'm going to check my levels. We're good. Okay. This area, it's not like it's super confusing, but it's got an interesting layout. Hey, well, that just was a switch. That wasn't even much of a gravestone. What do we got here? Mad Oscar, the guy I was just talking about. Setzer, do your thing. No. Do your other thing. Instant death? Yeah. Mad Oscar is basically, as you can tell, it's a Malboro. For some reason, they didn't call it Malbro at this point. Weak to fire, absorbs poison and water, can use the Sour Mouth ability, and as you saw, was susceptible to instant death, level 30. You'll notice that many of the enemies around here are either level 29 or 30, and one would make it susceptible to level 3 Muddle if we had a character with level 3 Muddle, and others would be susceptible to level 5 Doom if we had a character that could inflict level 5 Doom. This switch affects the water. That will be important a little later. Of course, most of the enemies that would be susceptible to level 5 Doom anyway would, well, like the X-Ray, they would be undead, and, well, that's not going to help us all that much. Alright, your best bets around here are not screwing up Sabin's blitzes, inflicting instant death on somebody, and Edgar can pretty much just do whatever he wants. He's not the most useful character in this area, but he's here. And even though he was probably our most powerful character in the Colosseum, here he basically picks up the scraps and helps Sabin out, who's going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting, because every single enemy in this location, bosses included, are weak to fire. Most of them are also additionally weak to Pearl. Alright, the X-Ray, level 29, weak to fire and Pearl, absorbs poison, has auto shell, inflicts the zombie status, is undead, and is susceptible to instant death. Enemies that are susceptible to instant death but have the zombie status, you could cast the life spell on them to take care of them. Here we get another Genji helmet. Now, Sabin instantly gets the Genji helmet because his next best thing is the green beret, and, well, it's been a while, but yeah, a lot of the other characters have access to other really good things. So the next one is going to go on to Setzer here, who didn't have anything better that he could use himself. Alright. And another new enemy, Power Demon. Power Demon is going to fall down pretty quickly because we can deal a lot of damage to it. And, well, there we go. The Power Demon is level 29, weak to fire and Pearl, absorbs poison. You can MP kill them if you want, as well as inflict instant death on them, but again, they are undead, so not your best bet. But yeah, Sabin is an absolute powerhouse in this area, and I would highly recommend that you use him to his full advantage, giving him a hero ring and doing a lot interesting. Now that will allow us to jump on the turtle, I believe in travel with the turtle, but we don't want to do that quite yet. Alright, we've quickly gone through most of the new enemies around here. Here, letters have been carved. Okay. You'll notice how the Japanese characters are there, and the translations on each of the different translations, in addition to the original here, are different. Now, there's a reason for that. They actually changed things up a little bit here for the English version of the game. Okay, we're going to leave the water where it is for the moment. And we're going to head up here, and in this room up here, the tombstone is blank. Carve something. And it gives us the options that we found before. Now, the Google translation here has no idea what's going on, and the original Japanese says one thing. Let's hover over these for a moment. Are they going to let us do the whole thing? No, they're not. Okay, then. Okay, this one... doesn't lead to what I was told it does either. Okay, whatever. We're just going to ignore those. Apparently, from what I recall in one of the translation guides that I've been kind of following along with a little bit to have a little bit better idea of what I'm talking about when we go into these, The original lines lead to something that says, "Rest in peace, oh friend." Or, basically referring to Setzer's friend, Daryll, resting in peace here in her grave, which is somehow infested with undead monsters. Regardless of that, the fan translation and the Game Boy Advance translation each take different lines and spell them out backwards. The world is square. The fan translation goes with 4 rendered pieces, except for it spells 4 wrong. The U and the O are mixed up. Now, this is a secret password for, well, find the experience egg hidden in the back room in the 3rd basement. Doesn't even give you anything now. It gives you information about something later. Since I really haven't been taking all that much damage in this area, I'm going to put Celeste in the front row here. Here we get a crystal mail. Might as well give that to somebody, actually, while I'm at it. Do I want to give it to you? You're in the front row. Sure, why not? We'll give it to you. Diamond armor. You've got diamond armor. Everybody's got diamond armor. Except for you. I don't believe you can equip it. I've given you the power sash. You don't really need the Gaia gear right now, but hold on to the Gaia gear for the rest of the game. Don't ever get rid of it. It's quite useful. Alright. The Tsarina gown. Sorry. Basement 2? Basement 3. What'd they say about that experience egg? Yeah, they said it was hidden somewhere along here. There we go. And after that battle, Edgar unfortunately learned Fire 2, along with probably anyone else who hadn't already learned it because, well, he's equipping that flame shield. And as I talked about, the shields do teach level 2 elemental spells of their, of the obvious spell. Interestingly enough, I'm on the ultimate weapon right now. The Wonder Bar doesn't really know what to do when you're in your inventory or your equipment screen here. But anyway, but yeah, so we've learned some spells. We will continue to learn them. That's fine. So we got the experience egg, so that's nice. That's 3 of them that we have access to now. And here, as long as the water level is low, we can come here and open this door. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to backtrack to the upper side of this room, and I'll see you in a moment. Okay, there is one more new enemy, and that's in that very first room where we ran into the Osteosaur. These guys are more zombies, and zombies are scary. We don't want to deal with zombies. Of course, that's all we get in here, and I was too lazy to cheese through it. But yeah, the Orog are weak to fire and pearl. They absorb poison. They can inflict zombie. They're susceptible to instant death, but they're zombies themselves, so don't try and do it. Okay, we're back. Now we want to hit this switch. Jump on the turtle, the tortoise, whichever one it is. It's hard to tell with 16-bit sprites. And we move on to the next room. This one here contains a man-eater knife. The next one... Yeah, before you open that next chest, you probably want to save. And they're nice enough to give you a save point. Monster in a box. Monster in the box is Presenter, a Welt clone. Interesting thing about this fight, well, you're supposed to fight it like you fight all of the other Welt from earlier on in the game. However, it's susceptible to instant death. And it's got a very specific drop. Namely, each piece has a specific drop. And that drop happens to be the same. However, when you kill the head normally, the shell will also die. If the shell dies through that method, you don't get 2 of the item, you only get 1. If you manage to eliminate both of them at the same time with the X-Zone spell, instead of getting 1, you get 2. 2 Dragon Claws. Yeah! Much more powerful weapon for Sabin. I believe that one's non-elemental. Anyway, the shell there is level 19. The head is level 31. They are both weak to fire. They both absorb ice, bolt, water, and they null poison. You can MP kill the shell and inflict instant death on both of them. If you're going to fight them without cheesing the fight like I just did, then you want to protect yourself against petrifying. And just hammer away. The same fight as before. You fight the head for a little bit, it disappears into the shell, you wait, repeat the same, never attack the shell. It's pretty basic. Before we go on to the next fight, you'll notice that my GP, the final digit of that is 0. It doesn't need to be 0, but it needs to be a number that's not divisible by your levels, in my case 27, 28, and 29. I'm just going to run away from all battles before that next door, as well as heal up here, probably restore some MP, and we'll move on. But you should probably save again first. Okay, all switched up my setup and all healed up and saved. We're going to run away from this fight since I already have my gold exactly where I want it to be. Preemptive strike. We'll run away faster. That's great. And we're going to go over my setup before we head up to that door. I have switched things up. If you did not pick up all the flame shields, the strategy will be drastically different upcoming. And you'll want Marvel shoes on both Setzer and Celeste. You'll want Sabin set up exactly the same way. Put them in the front row, Edgar in the back row with Dragon Boots and Dragoon Horn. Even if you don't have the Dragoon Horn yet, just with Dragon Boots and a Gold Lance, which is the best lance you can have right now if you didn't go after the Pearl Lance, that's even worthwhile using. You could also leave him on the ground and have him use tools. That would work too. Celeste is, well, if you're not using her to do damage, which is what I'm doing, you can use her to basically spam Runic and give her more Marvel shoes, running shoes, whatever. Setzer basically just does whatever else needs to be done at this point. He's not really set up all that well for things here, but yeah, we're going to put 7 in the front row. Everyone else can stay in the back row. Oh yeah, the other thing you'll want to throw on, let me just check my levels real quick, is you'll probably want to give somebody either Golem or Fenrir. Doesn't matter which one. Zone Seek is another good option to cast Shell on the party if you feel you need that. Because I have the Flame Shields, it's unnecessary. There's more battles in here? I didn't know there was more battles in here. I can't believe I got either a preemptive or a side attack twice in a row. Really shouldn't be running away from enemies because I'm low on money at this point. Like, I have a purchase in mind that will get rid of all of that, and I have more purchases that I want to make. So this is going to be tight. I'm going to have to sell some things. Alright, I believe we got all the treasure. Daryll sleeps here. You'll notice how the translation of Daryll's name changes from translation to translation, and in case of the Super Nintendo version, it changes within the same translation. The Mighty Doulahan. Level ? Pearl. Does cast Pearl on all characters in a formula that basically means if their level is divisible by the 1's digit of your gold, it will hit with Pearl. Otherwise, it misses. So if, you know, whatever your levels are, just make sure whatever the number of your gold is not divisible by that number. I happened to get lucky. I didn't have to fight any extra battles. I avoided a couple battles because I didn't want to screw it up. But yeah, that's the basic process there. Doulahan is level 37, weak to fire, absorbs ice, auto float, and haste. You can MP kill him. He casts ice. We have flame shields. Nice critical. Here, like I said, you can rasp him to death. He has 1,700 MP and 23,450 HP. So it's actually faster if you want to go the route of rasping him if you have enough people who know rasp. In my case, I'm going to go for the physical damage. if you're coming in here and you have a different strategy in mind and you don't have all the protection that I do, then I have one thing to recommend to you. Don't equip wall rings. He has a counter to wall rings. It's law called reflect ? And what it does is it will inflict, I think it's darkness, slow, and mute on any characters that, really? 400? Really? It'll inflict all those 3 statuses on any character who is under the reflect status, and yeah, it's not a good time. The fight doesn't last all that long when you're protected, but he does have access to Ice 2, Ice 3, the basic Pearl spell, that level ? Pearl spell, which he starts off the fight with every time, that ? Reflect status, Absolute Zero, and Northern Cross. We've already seen Northern Cross. It's an Ice Elemental attack, I believe, or maybe it's Fire Elemental. Either way, it does a bunch of damage. You don't want to be hit with that. Absolute Zero will inflict the freeze status on between 0 and 4 characters randomly, so that's not fun either. Oddly enough, he has a steal. The item that you can steal is a Genji Glove. You cannot possibly have a thief at this point in the game. The game is just tasing us at this point. Here, you want another one? Here, you can have it. Just steal it. It's a rare steal, and he commonly has an X potion, so you're not likely to get it anyway. But, yeah, the game's kind of rude that way. Brings back all kinds of memories. Took me a long time to notice this one, but this song is called Epitaph, and it's also a variation on a theme. It's a variation on Setzer's theme. If you listen to them both back to back, I'm sure you'll notice it too. Experimental airship is probably a bit unstable. And they gave Daryll a unique sprite that we'll never see again. What are you trying to prove? Watch your step. This is one of my favorite sequences in this game. If something should happen to me, the Falcon is yours. I'll win the Falcon from you, fair and square. Better clear out of my way. It's interesting how they've gone, I don't know, the more aggressive in the Super Nintendo versus, until then, I'm not letting you out of my sight. You know, it's just different ways of going about kind of a similar argument. Absolutely nothing like flying. How long are you planning on hanging back there? Aren't you going to try and pass me? Or do you like chewing my wake? Or are you entranced by my lovely behind? Thank you, Game Boy Advance Translation, for adding a little bit of levity here. Not sure how they would hear each other over that distance at that speed, but, oh well. Listen to you. This was always one of the lines that confused me most in Chrono Trigger for years and years and years before I finally understood what they were going for. Here, you're truly nuts, incredible, listen to you. It is expected. Okay. This time's for real. I'm gonna break every record. Fly past the clouds and see the stars closer than anyone has before. Be back before sunset. I'll be waiting for you on our hill. The wreck of the Falcon was found a full year later in a distant land. Interestingly enough here, in the Game Boy Advance translation, I found the wreck of the Falcon. That hill also looked somewhat like the hill that Celeste, quote-unquote, took a leap of faith from. I restored the craft and put it to rest down here. This is the Falcon. I put it in storage. I couldn't bear to look at it, but now it just may save us. Can't very well be the fastest pilot if I can't even fly. The Falcon. And this song is called Looking for Friends. This is a very apt choice for the song that will play as we fly around our new airship for the rest of the game. Considering this is all we need to do in order to attack Kefka's tower from the air. Falcon's gonna give us one last chance at that guy. And the thing is, we can do just that. We can go straight for Kefka. Everything else in this game, except for Kefka, is optional side quest content. If you were to finish the game now, you would miss out on a hell of a lot. The way that this game works, well, all of the side quests really build up the characterization of each of the characters and gives them their own personalities. It develops things that started earlier in the game, and it expands on them. And in addition to that, builds up our characters to much more recognizable than they've been so far. Setzer, follow that bird. Not sure. Something inside tells me it leads to our friends. And the game automatically flies you here. And here is Miranda. I most certainly need some sprint shoes, wherever they are. Where are my sprint shoes? There they are. Well, that's just an inn. There's nothing else here. A knight came through here recently. He was amazing, but his heart was full of chaos. A swordsman came through recently. His skills were impressive enough, but I could tell his heart was full of turmoil. If he could get rid of that confusion and doubt, his technique would probably reach a whole new level. Or he could become the mightiest warrior alive. Used to be a thief. One day I uncovered a secret so awesome I had to run and hide. Well, what secret is that? Not gonna tell me, huh? A spell ago, some oddball came strolling through here, kept calling people thou. Well, can only assume that would lead to one character. I've learned a lot about the new world from the thieves and travelers that have come through here. What shall I talk about? This will give you an indication on where certain areas are that we haven't seen in this new world yet. This is what's left of Narsh. The Veld is over here. Very different layout than it was before. And finally, Doma Castle. It's on a little island all to itself. You know that guy in Zozo who says this place is dangerous? It's the only one guy in that town that tells the truth. Maybe he can help you. Okay, somebody... bird. What do you got to say? Used to be a thief, I climbed the tower of Kefka's followers in spite of the danger. But I got hurt and had to turn back after the first treasure room. You're still running around down here, are you? Recently, Lola has been receiving a lot of letters, maybe from the guy in Moblees. Interesting, we've been to Moblees. That's where we found Terra. Sad to say, she's not getting letters from anyone there. Whoa, look at all the flowers. My boyfriend in Moblees sent me all these flowers. They're all handmade. Real flowers won't bloom anymore, so he made them from silk. And he sent me a letter. Yeah. Somebody else must have written these. Of course, we're not going to tell her that. My beloved Lola, we're still busy trying to rebuild the town. If all goes well, I'll be able to come home to you soon. His handwriting, it looks like Cyan's, but where is he mailing them from? Could you please attach this reply to the carrier pigeon? Sure. You give it to the bird, we get to find out where it's disappeared to. Bird sure does fly fast. Not as fast as an airship, but hell, you can traverse the whole planet and it doesn't take you very long. This town over here. Alright, one more NPC. Your own past can be your worst enemy. Friends, family, gotta let them all go. Sources of people's miseries always lie in their past. Lost families, friends, homelands. It's the things that torment people the most. And there is a shop here. Now, you can either buy the Falchion, however you pronounce this damn sword, and go back to the Colosseum at a later date and transform them all into more flame shields, which you can then transform into ice shields, which I didn't show off doing because we didn't need them yet. but I don't have enough money at this point. I want to buy 4 of these so that I can get some more of them. I might end up just buying the elemental swords and specifically the flame blades and doing that whole process again to save a little money because I am really low on it. Now that we know how much or what items that we need in order to do things at the Colosseum, anything that you can trade in there for an elixir, you can pretty much sell if you are not currently using it. Here, we're going to pick up a pair of dark gear. It's a new piece of armor that's quite nice. I'm going to be selling a bunch of excess stuff, but I'm going to head over to the Colosseum to double check to make sure I'm not getting rid of things I actually need. Anything with a status effect on it, I would keep, like the Assassin Dagger. The Blossom Daggers, we still haven't used those yet, and I did buy them for a purpose. Make sure to keep an extra lance that's not Holy Elemental, on the off chance that you need that. Elemental swords, keep. Atma weapon, keep. Tempest swords, absolutely keep. You can keep the elemental rods. The heal rods we are going to use, so don't get rid of those. Chocobo brush I don't think I need, but we'll check on that later. Guardians, they do have a status. It's like an evade thing, but those don't matter. Hawkeyes I would keep. Let's see, what else? As far as shields go, basically all we're going to be using now is the elemental shield, so you can get rid of pretty much anything except for the elemental shields. Keep the mystery veils. Keep the green berets for now. Keep the dice and the trump. What else? Keep the Tsarina gown, we're going to use that. Keep the suits, the Tabby suit and the Chocobo suit. Keep all the tools, obviously. Keep the enhancers. Those are good in many situations. And basically any relic that you don't use, like the Hyperis we can get rid of, Gale Hairpin, this, that. Keep the Pearl Rod for later. Keep the white capes. Get rid of the goggles. You only need 2 pairs of Dragoon boots, so you can get rid of the extras. Zephyr Cape can go. Keep the coin toss, it gives you a different ability. Guild toss, but we're never going to use it. But it's an option at least. Keep your earrings. I don't think we need the running shoes anymore now that we have Marvel shoes, but that's an option too. I don't think I'm going to use the back guard. Keep status protecting stuff for now. Cherub Down we don't need. Cure Ring we don't need. Keep the memento rings, absolutely. Keep the Thief Glove, Atlas Armlets, keep those. Keep the Tsarina Ring, I can't remember why. Keep the beret, or the Brett if you want, because it raises the successful rate of sketch. Ninja Stars, keep those. We will be betting those at the Colosseum later. Keep the Gaia Gears. Keep the Poison Knuckles, like the Elemental Claws for Cyan you'll want to keep. All the Elemental Shields, the Marvel Shoes we just got. Genji Glove, we want to keep that. Ribbon, keep that. Keep the Experience Eggs if you want to use them. Keep the Dragon Claws, the Man-Eater. Any status protection. Basically, keep the things you think would be useful. Get rid of the really old stuff unless I specifically mentioned it. And you'll get a little bit of extra money from that because next time, with our new airship, we are going to do a lot of exploring. Don't expect us to jump right back into the plot right away. And we're actually not going to chase after Cyan right away either. Even though the game has directed us in this direction, we don't need to do it now, and I'm going to do it quite a bit later because, well, not only is Cyan not really the best character, neither is the dungeon that we're going to. Like, you can do any of these in any order, and basically what I did is I moved stuff around so that I could get things in a not necessarily a logical order, but in a most useful order. So I'm going to go and pick up certain characters in a certain order. There's only one that we've already seen that didn't come with us. That was back in Moblise. We may or may not get there next time, but that's the first little bit of story we're going to head out and try and do. Anyway, that's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.